Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to teach you how to make this really amazing looking cable hat that I wrote a pattern for about 4 years ago, and I want to show you guys how to make it today. This is what it looks like, all finished. Got these beautiful ribs down the centers between the cable areas, and I think that it actually looks quite nice. It feels good on, it has some give to it, and I want to show you guys exactly what to do. If you want the pattern for this hat, make sure that you go to my Etsy shop and get it now. If you want to follow along, I will say that that hat pattern actually needs to be tweaked a little bit, but if you want to grab it and come back and follow this tutorial, I will show you where to make the changes on the pattern. You can write them in. After reprinting it last night and looking it over and remaking the hat, I realized that there's a better way to do it, and I decided to change it a little bit to make it even better. So let's go ahead and grab our materials and get started. For this project, I'm using the Mainstays basic yarn in color purple, and we will need 2 different size hooks. You'll need a size H hook for the band, and you'll need an I for the body. And the reason that I'm doing this, for those that are a little newer to crochet, the gauges are different, and so what I want is the band to be able to fit the way I want it to without any issues, but then I want the hat to be somewhat more chunky and a little bit more loose around the top of the head. And in order to achieve that without having to change the pattern is you just go up the size on the hook. So go ahead and grab what you need for now. You'll also need a pair of sewing scissors. I got these from Hobby Lobby a couple of years ago, and you'll need a yarn needle. And this is actually my favorite yarn needle because the tip on it is very, very sharp. I don't know if you can see that. It's very sharp. So it goes right through the strands of yarn easily for me, and I don't have to worry about trying to get it to stick in there. All right, let's get into it. Now, some people ask me, how much yarn did you use for this project? I'm not going to give you guys how much yarn. I'm just going to say have a skein, because for one of these hats it uses about, I want to say probably half of a skein. So actually, if this is how many yards are in this particular type of yarn, so what I would just do is split it in half, or 3.5 ounces of yarn to make this beanie. Okay, with your size H hook, we're going to go ahead and make your slip knot, and then we're going to chain 70. This hat is started at the bottom, and this is how we're going to do it. First of all, you need to make sure that your chain is not twisted. So take your thumb and guide it down, making sure that all the V's are facing you. Kind of reminds me of a bicycle chain. And then in this very last spot right there, we are going to make a slip stitch. Now in every single spot, we're gonna make a double crochet. First thing you're going to do is chain 2. That counts as your first double crochet, and then in the next space you're going to make a double crochet, and then every space around until you have 70 double crochets. Alright, so in this very last space there's like a little hump right here. It looks like a little leg, the top of a V. We are going to make one more double crochet right in there, and that makes 70, and then we're going to slip stitch to the top of this chain over here, just like that. Chain 2, and this will be a ribbed brim because we are going to be doing front post double crochets and back post double crochets. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is make a front post double crochet around this first post here. We've already, top of this post we have the chain. This is going to be the first back post, and then we're going to make a front post here. Yarn over, insert the hook, behind the post. Okay, grab the yarn, pull it through like that. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the second 2 loops, and now you have a front post double crochet. And if you look at it from the side, you can see that it's sticking out. This gives you a very textured look. All right, so the next one, we're going to go behind, right back here where this space is between these 2 posts, and around the front of this post and between the 2 posts there. Grab the yarn and pull it through. We have 3 loops on the hook. Finish off the double crochet. So now you have one that's raised and one that's in the back raised. So it's going to do this accordion look all the way down. Make a front post double crochet, a back post double crochet, front post. All right, do the back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post, and then just alternate front post double crochets and back post double crochets throughout the row until you get to the very end, and you will have 70 double crochets, and that's what it looks like. We are going to end this row with a front post double crochet, so make sure that every stitch that you did was a back post and a front post, but you didn't put 2 back posts together or 2 front posts together, because sometimes that happens. Make sure that you've done that first, and then we're going to go ahead and finish this last one here off with a front post double crochet. And right here is the chain that we started with, and this is considered a back post double crochet. We're going to go ahead and go between these 2 posts right here, and we're going to slip stitch right there, which is also going to help us keep this post right here more behind than forward. Okay, go ahead and chain 2, and we're going to continue. You're going to front post double crochet around the front post double crochets, and back post double crochet around the back post double crochets all the way around until you come to the very last front post double crochet where we ended the row before. We're going to make a front post double crochet around it, and then we're going to go ahead and slip stitch together. So go ahead and work on this row. Front post double crochets around the front post double crochets, the back post double crochets around the back post double crochets, all the way around, and I will see you at the end. All right, so here we are at the end again, and we're going to go ahead and finish off this last front post double crochet together. And then we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the space between the original chain that we made and the post here. See if I can get a better shot of that. I know this yarn is kind of dark. And then slip stitch that together, and that's it. Now you need to make 2 more of these same rows for 4 full rows, and I will meet you at the end of row 4. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 4. And the very last row of our band, and we're going to go ahead and finish off this front post double crochet together now. And then we're going to slip stitch in here between the chain and the post, just like that, and we are finished with the band. Now we need to change our hook. Go from the H to the I, and I will say that if you want a really floppy hat, or one that's not going to be real tight on your head at all, you can go up to as high as a size K hook, and you can still make this hat for the body, and it's going to come out great. All right, so anyway, I'm using an I, and that's going to give the hat a little bit more give, a little bit more room around the body, but not make it too big. It still fits around the head nicely, still touches the head. It doesn't flop backward, but it's definitely going to give more room. If you were to use the H hook, what I would do is I would give the hat to a child. but this one that we're making here is more for an adult size. So go ahead and chain 2 with your new hook, and then what we're going to do is something called a setup row. And this row is the setup row for the cable row that we're going to be doing in the next round. So what we're going to do in this next one here, in this next post, we're going to make a front post double crochet. The chain 2 space here counts as a back post double crochet, and it's going to be the very last back post double crochet of our row. So we don't count this right now. This technically would be the first stitch of our new row. So what you're going to do is you're going to have 2 front post double crochets side by side. So right where that back post double crochet is, go ahead and make a front post double crochet. All right. And now with these 2 spaces here, these 2 posts, we're going to make 2 back post double crochets. Okay. Now this is going to be the setup for the cable, and we're going to be working an 8 post cable. So we want 8 front post double crochets in a row. Now we need 2 back post double crochets. 2 front post double crochets, and 2 more back post double crochets. And now we have another cable. So we're going to do 8 front post double crochets in a row. Now we're going to make 2 back post double crochets. 1, 2, 2 front post double crochets, then 2 back post double crochets. Now we have another cable. All right, so now we need 8 front post double crochets in a row. And 8. Now we're going to make 2 back post double crochets. 1, 2, 2 front post double crochets. 1, 2, and 2 back post double crochets. 1 and 2. And now we have another cable. So we need 8 front post double crochets in a row. Now we're going to do 2 back post double crochets. 2 front post double crochets. 2 back post double crochets. And we have 1 more cable. So now we need 8 front post double crochets in a row. going to end with one back post double crochet right here. Because as you'll see where this chain is right here, it goes into that space there, which now gives you 2 back post double crochets. Slip stitch between the chain and the post to join the round. All right, so now we're ready for our cable row. The cable row, according to the pattern, is row 7. The band has 5 rows. In the one here that I'm doing with you guys today, it only has 4. The setup row is a row 5 right here on the video, but it's a row 6 in the pattern. And then the cable row is a row 7 in the pattern, but it's a row 6 here on the video. Go ahead and chain 2. We're going to make 2 front post double crochets. All right, so we're going to make 2 back post double crochets next. And then we're going to work the cable. Now, if you've seen the other cable videos that I've made in the past, you'll know that I usually do a 6-post cable, and this does not call for 6 posts, it calls for an 8-post. So it's going to be a little bit wider, but when it's finished, it's going to look awesome. So in order to make a cable, what you need to do is yarn over 2 times so that you have 3 loops on your hook. Now we need to count the front post double crochets. We need to count 5 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5th one is the one that separates these 4 from these 4. All right, these 4 are going to go in the back, and these 4 are going to lay up front through this entire pattern. I'll show you what I mean. Let's go ahead and find that 5th post. And we are going to make a front post triple crochet around this post. Now do it lightly, you don't need to yarn over tightly or anything like that. Do it loose because you want this cable to stretch. Because it's wider, it's going to have more room to stretch. So yarn over loosely, make a front post triple crochet around the next post. Yarn over loosely, make a front post triple crochet around this post, and then yarn over loosely again twice, and around this last front post make another front post triple crochet. So you want these to be a little floppy because as we're working into them, they're going to tighten up. Okay, so go ahead and yarn over twice again. Now we're going to go back to these 4 that we skipped. And this very first one here is what we're going to work in first. Your hook through there, pull your yarn through, finish off the triple crochet, yarn over twice, find that second post that we skipped right here. This is one we just worked. The one right next to it here is one we're going to work in next. Make 1 front post triple crochet, do it again, yarn over twice loosely, go back and find the 2 other ones that we skipped. This one right here, we just worked into this one. Now we're going to work into this one. Make 1 front post triple crochet. All right, we got 1 more. And don't forget that there's 4. So we want to make sure we go back to the one we skipped here, this very last one here. We just worked in this one. Now we're going to do this one. Make 1 front post triple crochet. And finish off the stitch. Okay, and this is what it looks like. And like I said, you want them kind of floppy because you're going to be working in them throughout the next few rows, and you're going to want them to be pliable. Okay, so now we're going to bypass where we worked in the cable area, and now we have 2 back post double crochets that we are now going to work. Make 2 back post double crochets around the back post double crochets. And keep in mind that during the cables, on the cable row only, this is the only time when we're having to stretch those stitches over. That's the only time that you're going to use an actual triple crochet for this project. You'll make 8 triple crochets per cable, but only this row. Every other row from here on out, we're going to work double crochets around these triple crochets until we grow the cable up, and then when we get to another cable row, then we'll go back to the triple crochets again. So I just wanted to point that out now. Alright, so now we have 2 back post double crochets. Now we need 2 front post double crochets. And I am sorry that I'm using this very dark yarn. It didn't really dawn on me that it would be that hard to see. So I apologize for that. I will try to remember to always buy lighter color yarns in the future. Alright, so now we're making 2 back post double crochets around the next 2 back post double crochets. And now we have another cable. So basically it's going to be the cable, 2 back posts, 2 front posts, 2 back posts. Let me take a break here for a second and show you what we're making. So this is the finished hat, as you can see. And here's what we're making right now. As I said, you have the cable here, then you have 2 back post double crochets, 2 front post double crochets, 2 back post double crochets, and then another cable. Cable, back post, front post, back post, cable. So this is what we're doing right now. We're making the back post, the front post, the back post, and then we're making this next cable. So this is what it's going to look like as we get it further up. And just so that you can get a little bit of a visual as to exactly what we're doing. So go ahead and yarn over twice and count 5 front post double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5th one is where we're going to work around, make a front post triple crochet, yarn over twice loosely. Into the next post, we're going to make another triple crochet, yarn over again loosely, and around the next post we're going to work another triple crochet, and then yarn over again loosely and work the last front post loosely. So until you have 4 posts. And now we have to come back over here to the 4 posts that we skipped. This is the first one we're going to be working in. Yarn over twice, come back over here to the side. I know it feels like a really big stretch, and go up underneath that post, that very first one that we skipped, and go ahead and finish off that triple crochet. Yarn over twice again, and we have to return to the side. So here's the post we just worked in right here, and now we're going to come over here to the second one here and work this triple crochet there. Okay. Yarn over again twice. Come over here to the next one, the 3rd one that we skipped. We worked in this one. We need to work in this one. And go ahead and finish off that triple crochet. Yarn over twice loosely, come back to this one that we skipped. This is the 4th one, and it's kind of hiding, so make sure you can see it. We worked this one, this one, this one, and now we need to work this one and finish off your triple crochet. And now your stitches are nice and loose and floppy so that we can work in them over the next few rows. Okay, continuing on past the cable, we're going to make 2 back post double crochets. 1, 2, and then we're going to make 2 front post double crochets. And then we're going to make 2 back post double crochets. Okay, so here we are at the cable again. I've just chained over twice. And I'm going to count and find the 5th post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Underneath this 5th one, I'm going to make my first front post triple crochet. Okay, yarn over twice loosely again. Into the next post where we just worked, we're going to make another front post triple crochet. Yarn over twice. And in the post next to this one, we're going to go ahead and make another front post triple crochet. And then we're going to yarn again. And we're going to yarn over again loosely. In that final front post, we're going to go ahead and make another front post triple crochet. Now we have 4, and now we're going to go back to the 4 we skipped. And don't forget to do these. I've actually done that before where I completely forgot that I had to do these, and I got to the other row and this was all empty, so I had to pull all my stitches out to get back to this point. Just make sure that you're paying close attention. If at any time I start having you guys work on a row on your own, just make sure you're counting your stitches and make sure that you have as many stitches as you need every row so that your count is never off. Go ahead and yarn over twice. Go back to the first one that we skipped right here. And underneath that, we're going to make our triple crochet. Yarn over twice, come back under this next one that we skipped, and finish off that triple crochet. Yarn over twice, come back to this other one that we skipped, and there you go. And then one more, this one that we skipped. You may have to look for it, but you can find it. Okay, so now we have 8 more nice floppy stitches to work into for the next few rows. And now we're going to come back to where we were again. 2 back posts, 2 front posts, 2 back posts. Just like on the hat that I showed you. 2 back post double crochets. 2 front post double crochets. Oops. Two back post double crochets, and we're going to do another cable. All right, now you know what to do. Yarn over twice, count 5 posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make your first triple crochet around that 5th post. Yarn over twice, next spot, make another front post triple crochet. Yarn over twice, find the next one, make your triple crochet around that one, and one more, yarn over loosely twice. Here's the very final front post, and we're going to finish off that triple crochet. Now we have 4 posts again. Yarn over twice, come back to the first one we skipped way over here, go up underneath that one, and finish off that triple crochet. And then yarn over twice again, come back to the next one that we skipped. Here's where we worked. Go to the next one that we skipped. And finish off that triple crochet. Oops. And then find that other one that we skipped right there. Make another front post triple crochet. And the final one right there. You can see it. Make that final front post double crochet right there. And we're done with that cable. Okay, now we have one more set of back post, front post, back post, cable. And then when we get done here, then we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into this area over here. Now we want to make 2 back post double crochets. And then 2 front post double crochets. 2 back post double crochets. And now we're going to do the final cable. Alright, just as before, yarn over twice, count to 5 posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Work around the front of that post and finish off that triple crochet. Yarn over twice, remember to do it loosely. Find the next post and work around that post, making that triple crochet. Do it again around this post. Finish off that triple crochet. And then the last post. And then we're going to go ahead and go back to these 4 that we skipped right here, starting with the first one. Yarn over twice, come all the way back over here to that first one and make a front post triple crochet. Yarn over twice, come back to the second one that we skipped, go around that post and make a front post triple crochet. Yarn over twice, find that next one that we skipped, work in that space, finish that off, finish off that triple crochet, and one more, yarn over twice, find that very last post that we skipped and work the last front post triple crochet. Okay, now we're going to end with 1 back post double crochet here. This chain 2 acts as the next back post double crochet, so we're going to go ahead and make that back post double crochet here. And then between these 2 posts here, we are going to slip stitch. Okay. All right, now we finished the row 6 for the video. Like I said, it's row 7 in the pattern. If you want to go grab that pattern and then you want to write in the changes I'm making, feel free to do so. I do plan on going in and altering the pattern this week so that it's more to the specifications of what I'm doing here in the video. So now we're going to move on to the next row, and now what we're going to do is basically, if you have any front post double crochets, you're going to front post double crochet around them. And if you have any back post double crochets, you'll back post double crochet around them. The cables, because you know how I said that when you count 5 posts over, that's where it starts for your cabling? That's because it creates this. So you have this space between the first 4 and the last 4 here. As I told you at the beginning, the first 4 are always going to sit in the back, and then the other 4 are always going to be up here in the front. So what you want to do is find that space between 4. You can put your finger through it if you need to, or your hook, or whatever. I put my finger back here, and I count 4 stitches. And my finger comes through. I have 4 stitches here on my finger. And then the other 4 are back here. Where that separation is, where my finger's coming through, you want to make sure to hold that area open when you start working on the cables. That way you make sure you get all 4, because this one over here is sometimes stubborn and it gets stuck back there and you can't see it, and then you'll think you have all 4 of them and you don't. So your count will be off. So make sure that when we get to here, you're holding this area open as you're working. Okay, you can also put a stitch marker right here if it helps you to see like where the separation is, so that you don't lose that 4th one back there. That would be a recommendation I would have. All right, so chain 2, and now we're going to front post double crochet twice. And we're going to make 2 back post double crochets. And now we're going to work on the cable. All right. Let's see if I can get this in the camera shot very easily here. Okay, we have 4 spots. So front post double crochet around that very first one. We're always going to work the ones in the back first, because it pulls them forward and it creates the cable look. All right. Now the second one, front post double crochet. The third one, front post double crochet, and then this 4th one, make a front post double crochet. This is why we needed to yarn over loosely and make the stitches loose. Okay, now we're going to work these 4 in the front. First one here at the right, or on the left if you're left-handed. Okay. Now we're gonna, that one's in the back. Now we're gonna move over to this post here. Okay. And we're gonna move over to this post here. And then we'll move over here to this post, which is the final post, the final front post double crochet. Okay, and now as the row repeats, we have 2 back posts, 2 front posts, 2 back posts. So let's go ahead and get those done. 2 back posts, 2 front posts, so now we're back at another cable, and we're going to work the cable just like we did the other one. Front post double crochet around that first one. Remember to separate the 4 from the 4 so you can remember where they are. Work the second one of this group here. Work the third one of this group here in the back. And then that 4th one back here, finish off that group of 4. Okay. And then we're going to start working the front 4 here, starting on this side and then working straight across. And then you're going to work 2 back post double crochets, 2 front post double crochets, 2 back post double crochets, and then we're going to do another cable. Okay, let's go ahead and work the cable. So the very first post will get worked first. Okay, the second one. The third one. And that fourth one back there. Okay, and now we're going to work the front 4. And then we're going to work 2 back post double crochets, 2 front post double crochets, and 2 back post double crochets. And then we're going to work another cable. We have this cable, then we have the back post, front post, back post, one more cable, and then we will slip stitch over here. All right, let's go ahead and work this cable here, making sure to work the back one first. Like I said, you can put a stitch marker in there wherever you need it to remind you. And then you can work these front ones just like you did the back. And then 2 back post double crochets. 2 front post double crochets, and 2 back post double crochets. And then our last cable of the row, remember to split these 2 apart and find those 4 cable posts. Okay. Go ahead and work those 4 in the back first. 1, 2, 3, oops, 3, 4, and then the 4 front posts. And now we have to work this final back post double crochet right here and join it over here to this back post double crochet by slip stitching between the chain and that post. By doing that, you always keep this space right here. You always keep that post in the back. You can't tell that it's not a back post double crochet by looking at it. Okay, so now in the written pattern, the next row will be a row 9. What I'm going to have you guys do here in the video is make 2 row 9s. We're going to make one now, and then we're going to make another one. The reason for that is because I want to stretch the cables up higher before I start crisscrossing them again. It makes the cables more pliable. They're easy to move around. There's more give, especially when you put the hat on. If you want to follow the pattern as it reads right now for a child's hat, go ahead. It's perfectly fine. But for this one, I want to make the hat a little bit larger. And so I am, like I said, I'm tweaking it just a bit. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. We have our first back post double crochet because the chain 2 counts as that. We're going to go ahead and make a front post double crochet, another front post double crochet. Now I hope you guys can keep up because I'm not going to slow this row down. This is going to be one of the easier rows. Row 9 is going to be the easiest row of the entire pattern. We're going to basically just crochet what we see. Front post, get front post double crochets, back post, get back post double crochets all the way around. Okay, 2 back post double crochets, work front post double crochets all the way across for 8 posts. It's going to be easier to see these cable posts now because they've all been lifted up from because of the last row that we made. So you should be able to do it no problem. If you have to go slow, go ahead. There's no hurry. Okay, so now it looks, see how it's growing? All right, and then we do 2 back post double crochets, 2 front post double crochets, 2 back post double crochets, and then we're going to work the next cable, 8 front post double crochets. And if I am going too fast for you, if you need to, you can always pause where you are right now, finish that area, and then hit play again, and we'll just keep going. All right, 2 back post double crochets, 2 front post double crochets, and 2 back post double crochets, and then work across the cable, 8 front post double crochets. Back post double crochets, 2 front post double crochets, 2 back post double crochets, work the cable, two front post double crochets, two back post double crochets, okay, we're going to work the final cable of the row, 8 front post double crochets, And now we're going to make that final back post double crochet right here and slip stitch between the chain and the post to keep this post back and make it look like another back post double crochet. Okay, so this, again, we're going to make another row 9 in this row in this video because, as I said before, I want to make the cables grow. If we twisted it now, they'd be really scrunched up cables, and I really just kind of don't like that. I guess my preferences have changed since I wrote the pattern originally. So go ahead and chain 2, make 2 front post double crochets, so at this point you already know what's going on. 2 back post double crochets. If you see a front post around it. If you see a back post around it. All the cables get front post double crochets. Anyway, go ahead and finish this row on your own, just following what you see. This is not hard. You're just going to do what we did the last row, and then I will see you at the last few stitches at the end. Okay, so that means, okay, so now we're at the end of the row. I just finished the cabling, and now we're going to go ahead and do this last back post double crochet together, and then we're going to slip stitch between the chain and the post. All right, now you'll notice that the row here that we just put in that extra row 9, it's now leveled out. It's made the row straight. It's no longer like up here and then coming down like in a dip down here, because these are still back too far, but you actually have a straight line. So now when we go back in this row, which is another cable row, it's going to be much easier to yarn over twice and find that 5th spot and do 4 and then go back and do the other 4 because they're all the same height. Chain 2 and let's get on with it. And let's go ahead and make 2 front post double crochets. Two back post double crochets, and we're gonna go ahead and start our cable. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start working on the cable. Yarn over twice, 5th post in, work your first front post triple crochet, yarn over twice, triple crochet into the next space, yarn over twice, triple crochet into the 3rd post, and just do that to the end, and then come back to the 4 that you skipped, and do the first one, find that second one, and triple crochet around that one. Do it again, oops, around the 3rd one. And then one more time around that 4th one. You can kind of see where my finger is. It's the one right below it. I don't want to forget that one. And then triple crochet. And moving on to the 2 back post double crochets. Two front post double crochets, two back post double crochets, Okay, next cable. And then we are going to go over here to the ones that we skipped. That first one, that's the one that we are going to work on next. All the way over here to that first one we skipped. And then around the next one that we skipped. And then around the third one. And around the fourth one. And we have a completed cable. So what I'm going to have you guys do is work this row by yourselves because you know what to do. I'm going to go ahead and have you finish. Remember, back posts, 2 front posts, 2 back posts, do the cable. You already know how to skip over these 4, find that 5th one, and do a triple crochet, triple crochet, triple crochet, triple crochet. Come back to this one that you skipped, triple crochet here, 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 and here, so that you get this effect. 4 in front here, the 4 in the back, and then I will meet you at the other end of this row and we will finish off the row together. Alright, so we're at the end of the row. Let's make this last back loop together. Alright, and then join between the post and the chain 2, and then that's done. And now we're going to move on with the chain 2, make 2 front post double crochets, 2 back post double crochets. Okay, so let's go ahead and work this next cable together. And then I'm going to have you guys go ahead and finish this row because you know exactly what you're doing. You're going to go ahead and just make sure to get that 4th one back there because that's always the one that's hiding. And then you have 4 up front. You can do those 4. Remember, we're only doing double crochets around these triple crochets. So don't make triple crochets here. Okay, so go ahead and finish your back post double crochets, your front post double crochets, and your cables, and I will meet you at the very last few stitches. Okay, so here we are at the end of the row. And we're going to go ahead and make this very last back post double crochet. And then we're going to slip stitch between the chain 2 and the post, and your row is done. Now chain 2, and we're going to go ahead and work what we see. Again, front post double crochets, get front post double crochets, back posts, get back post double crochets. The cables are going to be a lot easier to work because the last row we heightened the cable with that last row because now we brought the stitches up higher. And we're going to go ahead and work across. Just work across the cable. Don't forget that one that's hiding in the back, that number 4 post right here. Always remember that's there. Just work them in order. So go ahead and just finish this row and I will see you at the end. Alright, so here we are at the end of the row. Go ahead and make that very last back post double crochet right here. and slip stitch to join. All right, now we're going to do one more of these rows. I want you to chain 2, do your front post, your back posts, work across the top of your cable. Just repeat the exact same row we just did, and I will meet you at the other end of the row. Okay, here we are at the end of the row. Here is the very last spot where we're going to work this row. I'm going to make that final back post double crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch to join the row. So for this next row and throughout the rest of the hat, what I'm going to have you do is work the hat by yourself. The next row you make is going to be a cable row, so that's going to be your crisscross, and then you're going to make 3 rows after that of the exact same thing. So what you need is 5 of these crisscrosses, and after that very last 5th crisscross or cable row, you're going to work your posts for those 3 rows until it looks like this and nice and straight. And then we're going to start our decreases. Okay guys, so here we are at the very end of the body of the hat. I've worked 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 crossovers. And then after the last crossover, I worked 3 rows of the front and back post double crochets. Now, if you want to, if you did not finish this part here, and if you stopped at the last segment where I told you to move on your own, that actually, if you didn't finish this part here, it will actually give you a little bit shorter hat, which could work great. Also, having this little bit of extra length on here will have the hat at the top, it'll come like this, and then it's gonna stick up about this much up off the top of the head, so it'll be really cute. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward. Right now we're going to start with the decreases. The first thing we have to do with the decreasing is chain 1. Okay, so the way that we're going to decrease this hat is actually not the way that I worded it in the pattern. What we're going to do is we're going to continue with the same pattern that we've been using, the front post and back post double crochets, to go ahead and do the decreasing. So once you've chained 1, yarn over and put your hook behind both of your front post double crochets. Grab your yarn, pull it through, and finish off the double crochet. And now we're going to continue the same thing with the next. We have 2 back post double crochets, yarn over, and put your hook around both of the back post double crochets, pull the yarn through, and finish off the double crochet. And now we have 8 front post double crochets. So we're going to do 2 at a time. Go underneath 2 of the front posts and pull that yarn through and finish off the double crochet. Same with the next 2. Decrease with a front post double crochet, another front post double crochet decrease here, and then another front post double crochet here. We have 2 back post double crochets, and we're going to decrease both of those together with 1 back post double crochet, and then the next 2 front post double crochets we decrease with 1 front post double crochet, and then we have 2 back post double crochets we decrease with 1 back post double crochet. And now we have the 8 posts again, so we will make 1 front post double crochet around these 2, 1 front post double crochet around the next 2, another front post double crochet around the next 2, and another around the last 2. We continue. 1 decrease around the back post double crochets with 1 back post double crochet, one decrease around these with one front post double crochet, decrease with a back post double crochet, and now you have your 8 posts again on the next cable. 2 at a time, we make front post double crochets. Under 2, 1 front post double crochet, 1 front post double crochet around the next 2, 1 front post double crochet around the next 2, and 1 front post double crochet around the last 2. Continue the same all the way around the hat. 1 back post double crochet around those 2 back posts there, 1 front post double crochet around these 2, 1 back post double crochet around these 2. And now we're going to work the top of the cable. 1 front post double crochet around these 2 front posts, another around these 2 posts, another around these 2 posts, and another around the last 2. Continuing on until we get to the end. A back post double crochet decrease around the 2 back posts, 1 front post around the 2 here, 1 back post around the 2 back here, and you just keep going. And this will be the very last part of the decrease row, and this is the only decrease row of this hat. Go ahead and make 1 front post double crochet around these 2 posts, another around these 2, another around these 2, and then another around the last 2. And now to finish it off, we need to make 1 back post double crochet around these 2 back posts here. And then we're going to slip stitch into that chain space there just to end that row. Now let's move on to sewing. Go ahead and grab your scissors and your yarn needle. I use a pill bottle to keep my stuff in. I have my stitch markers and some little items that I have for one of my ergonomic handles for my other hooks. And yeah, these come in really handy. So if you have any, these are a great thing to use. All right. Grab those scissors. And we are going to cut about, I'd say maybe 10 to 15 inches of yarn. Just cut as much as you think you need. Gauge it. I'm sure you can do that all on your own. And then what you're going to do is up here where the loop is that you had your hook in, grab your working yarn and pull it through all the way, just like that, and pull it kind of tight, but don't tear your yarn. Okay, now you need your needle. Thread it with your working yarn. And now we're going to weave the top. So starting at the top and leaving your hat right side out, just go ahead and insert the needle between and around the posts like this. Okay, and just keep doing that all the way around until you get back to the area where we started, and you'll be able to see where you started your weaving, so that won't be a problem. And then just keep going around just like this until you get to the end. And this should be the last part of it for me, or at least close to it. A little bit more to go. Okay, so it looks like right about here is where we started. Your tail at the end of your hat down here will also be a representation of the beginning row, so go up and you'll be able to tell where you started right there. So we got a little bit left here. Go around and around, keep going back and forth through the post, just like this. And now we're going to pull tightly, but not too tightly. Leave a little bit of a hole in the top. You're going to go ahead and put your needle through that space, through the hole. Grab it with the other hand on the inside of your hat and pull it through. Just go ahead and pull your hat inside out so we can work on this side. And we'll leave it out too so that we can go ahead and sew in the top, and then we can sew in the end at the bottom as well. Okay. So we want to pull this tight, but not too tight. Hold this with this hand, and with your needle over here, this is where the hole is of your hat. Come up underneath one of these stitches here, and then pull the yarn in. That'll gather the hat and close that hole up for you. And then come back this direction, under a couple of the stitches, and pull it again. So just continue sewing up the hat. This little hole here, come to the other side, go through the other side like that, and pull that kind of tight. We just want to make sure that the hole is not gonna gape open. And it'll be perfect for when you go to put a pom-pom on there, or even if you don't have a pom-pom, it's gonna look great. And now we're just gonna sew in the end like this. I'm gonna actually make a little knot. And like I said in one of my other videos, I know this is probably overkill, but I'd rather have some overkill than, you know, threads hanging out of my garments. So I knotted it, and now I'm just gonna hide the yarn back and forth through the top stitches here about 3 or 4 times. This will never come undone in the wash, especially the overkill part. That keeps it from coming out in the wash for sure. Alright, now get your scissors, and you're gonna snip the what's left here at the base without cutting the stitches. And then you're going to want to come over here to the other side. And since the hat is inside out, it's going to be perfect for sewing in the tail. Okay. So what I like to do is just go up like this underneath the stitches on the inside of the hat. So if my finger is underneath here, I can tell if the needle goes through. You don't want the needle to go through. So just lift up some of the stitches on the back here. Go up. Don't pull too tight because then it'll mess this part up down here. Just pull it till it's a little snug. And come back down like this through some other spots. And then do it again over here. Kind of diagonally maybe. Just pick some spots that are not the same spots you used before. That's kind of the key. Alright, and that's done. And snip that off at the base without cutting your stitches. And guess what? You're all finished. Alright, so pop that hat right side out. And mess with the yarn a little bit. Normally the brims of the hats don't turn out like this for me. This looks kind of wonky. I think it's because of the way that I was holding it earlier. But this is what the brim will look like. It'll be more, you know, together. And just mess with the hat a little bit. Pull the fibers a little bit. Put your hands inside and push it out a little bit. And then when you wear it, this part up here is going to be nice and loose. And this right here will be, this is going to fit really great too. And this should actually also fit a man size head. So if you have anybody that has a head size 22 inches to about 24 or 25 inches, this hat will fit just right. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. As with all videos that I put up, if you have any questions about anything, you want to know anything about techniques or about something that happened in the video maybe you didn't understand, you can always just go ahead and leave me a message in the comments, or you can send me an email at fibertheory@yahoo.com, and I will do my very, very best to answer you back. So I hope you make many of these hats. I hope that you give them away as gifts. I hope that you donate them. These actually will be donated probably to hospice. So anyway, y'all, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and for all the latest updates on future projects, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the handle @fibertheory. Remember to subscribe and hit that bell icon for all future project notifications. Have a great day.